What's up, Canuck fans? Welcome to the Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast, which is a presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, as well as a proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network. Trades are one of the most fun parts of being a fan. They're a chance to judge, to speculate, and to see your team take a big swing. But 1 year later, the JT Miller trade is a move that has been uniquely painful for fans on both sides, both the Canucks and the New York Rangers. It's been a year since the Canucks ended the public feud between Elias Pettersson and Miller by trading the American star to New York. The price, for those that want to be revisited to the trade, Miller, Branson, and Jackson Dorrington went to the Rangers for a 2026 first-round pick, Filipino, and Victor Mancini. 1 year in, both teams are among the bottom 5 of the entire NHL in points percentage. So, here's the question. Who lost worse? So the entire hope for Vancouver management, who constantly stressed that they had to make this trade due to a fractured locker room, was simple. Trading Miller would allow Elias Pettersson to finally flourish as the team's undisputed highest paid star, and he would get back to the 100-point player. The reality? Not so much. Since the deal, Pettersson has just 17 goals and 46 points in 66 games. That's a 21-goal, 57-point pace over a full 82 games. Miller, on the other hand, has put up 27 goals and 70 points in 78 games. The Canucks clearly traded away the better player, at least in the short term. Even if he's past his prime, Miller's offensive production and even his defensive impact, allowing fewer shot attempts and expected goals against than Pettersson, make the on-ice exchange a win for the Rangers. Now, the Rangers aren't without pain. Miller's back-checking issues are constantly called out by the New York fan base. More importantly, they traded what ended up being the 12th overall pick for him. The acquisition simply hasn't lifted them as anticipated, making that decision look foolish in hindsight. But here's where the story pivots and where the Canucks' true organizational short-sightedness comes into horrifying focus. The Canucks could have won this trade by simply keeping that 12th overall pick. It would have immediately provided a massive boost to their below-average prospect pipeline. Instead, mere hours later, the Canucks carelessly flipped that first-round pick to the Pittsburgh Penguins, along with Vincent Desharnais, Danton Heinen, and prospect Melvin Fernstrom. What did they get back? Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. The immediate return has been disastrous. Marcus Pettersson's wins above replacements, his WAR is negative this season, meaning he has been statistically worse than a replacement level player. Only Tyler Myers and Evander Kane have struggled more on this team. Now, I've been very critical of Marcus Pettersson so far this season. There is a little bit of a silver lining when it comes to this trade because I actually think Drew O'Connor has done very well this season, and he's basically the silver lining when it comes to this trade, at least in my opinion. And as extra salt in the wound, the Penguins monetized the Canucks' assets, turning that single 12th overall pick into an additional first-rounder, giving them 3 first-round picks in the 2025 draft. They turned one asset into a strategic wealth of future talent. Now remember, Penguins didn't actually hold on to that first-round pick. They ended up trading it away to the Flyers. Let's not make any mistake. This trade was a massive loss for both clubs, and it contributed to them both sinking toward the bottom of the league. But when you weigh the immediate loss of an on-ice talent in JT Miller, the subsequent failure of Filipino due to a string of concussions, and the utterly inexcusable short-sighted decision to top 15 for a player with a negative WAR, the Canucks lamentably emerge as the single biggest loser of this fateful trade. Let me know in the comments, who do you think lost this trade worse? Now, I'll admit, when this trade went down, I was looking at the bigger picture. When it comes to this trade, Pettersson's going to get back to being that player that he once was. The Canucks made the right move on keeping Pettersson over Miller, but now I'm honestly out of patience when it comes to Elias Pettersson. And I did my best to try and give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's been almost 2 years since he dropped off. When it comes to his production, we all want him to return to that 100-point player that he's been before, but now he can't even get to 60 to 70 points. And I'm sorry, but that's fucking pathetic. Some people will say PD is still young and only 27 years old, and he could still potentially return to being that player next season or beyond. But at that point, he'll be in what? The third season of that $11.6 million contract? Imagine how that would look. PD starts producing like he used to, but it took several years into that contract for him to get there. Like, I'm sorry, but that's inexcusable. And yeah, so 1 year on from the JT Miller trade, obviously, I'll admit I'm a little bit biased when it comes to the JT Miller trade because, right there. And yes, I do have a emotional connection to Miller as well as a personal connection to Miller. So honestly, looking back 1 year later at this trade, if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Miller over Pettersson. Just based off of what we've seen so far this season, and at least in the short term, I believe Miller's contract would age a lot better than Pettersson's. Just my personal opinion. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is the real winner of this trade? And do you agree that both teams are essentially losers of this trade? I'd like to thank my main and primary sponsor, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Super Bowl 60 deserves a sportsbook that's built for the moment. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 60, puts you right in the center of the biggest game of the year. Anything can happen during the Super Bowl, and DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you still get paid in cash when your bet settles. No bonus bets, no waiting. While other sportsbooks don't offer injury protection, DraftKings covers the entire first half, even the second quarter. An early exit works on live bets too, pregame or in-game. DraftKings has you covered. Super Bowl 60, a rematch from Super Bowl 49 between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Seahawks pass rush versus the Patriots offensive line. Seattle's front, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Boy May look to pressure Pats QB Drake May, challenging a potentially weaker Patriots O-line. Are you new to DraftKings? New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. And Gassy Jack Art, maker of this amazing artwork you can see right here in front of you, and you guys can check them out yourselves at GassyJackArt.com. So there you guys go. 1 year later, the JT Miller trade, just my personal opinion on it, and looking at it now 1 year later. Once again, drop your comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you. Or no, actually, hang on. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single video. Just a reminder, we do have our official merchandise store. We are still selling our 1 year anniversary collection, so go ahead, check it out. thelinechangepodcast.threadless.com. Also, if you want to have more discussions and conversations such as this one, join our official Discord. There's a link to it in the description down below. It is completely free to join. You can find and interact with us on social media. We're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of platforms, If you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. Something else that's also greatly appreciated, if you had a favorite episode that you just couldn't get enough of, you can download your favorite episode as well. That, too, also really helps out the podcast. And once again, we are very greatly appreciative of that. So drop your comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next line change.